when I hear a lot of pundits speak about your situation in particular, Prime ain't did nothing different than what any other great father would do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
When I came out, they tried to shun my father from a lot. There's award shows that I have yet to be back because my father was not able to kind of come.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a part of it, though. You got to understand the situation. You got to understand.
While the NFL was worrying about the combine, Shedeur Sanders was conquering Asia. Deion Sanders just leaked the secret. Breaking news this afternoon. The Sanders family just secured the biggest bag in sports history from the Chinese Basketball Association. The NFL is terrified. They can't stop a player from signing promotional deals overseas. I have the legal breakdown of why Roger Goodell can't touch a single penny of this money. If you want to know how Shedeur beat the system again, click that button. Let's read the bylaws. Here is how Shedeur Sanders became the highest paid athlete in the world before throwing a single NFL pass.
Touchdowns, y'all. Shedeur Sanders surprisingly slipped to the 5th round, becoming the number 144th pick in the 5th round of the 2025 NFL draft. First of all, let me clarify this article a little bit. We like our journalists here, but we call them out when they don't say the truth. First of all, nobody was shocked, because if you're one of our subscribers, and shout out to the new subscribers we have here, we got droves and droves of new subscribers. Salute to y'all. I'm honored to have y'all.
It all started with a post that had no caption, no explanation, and yet it said everything. Coach Prime uploaded a photo of him and Shedeur, both wearing smiles that looked like they just won the lottery. But it wasn't the smiles that caught people's attention. It was the emojis. A Chinese flag and a basketball. Within seconds, the internet was in a complete meltdown. People were asking if Shedeur was switching sports, if he was leaving the country, or if the Sanders family had finally lost their minds. But as the dust settled, the reality started to emerge, and it was far more calculated than anyone could have imagined. This wasn't a joke or a distraction. It was the first breadcrumb of a $175 million revolution that would leave the NFL offices in a cold sweat. The numbers coming out of the Chinese Basketball Association are enough to make any NFL owner nervous.
These are real special right here, Dad. These are special because I'm not lost for words. I'm just thinking about my son and what he's going through. This is going to be his shoe because they're logos, and they have his face on the bottom of them.
We are talking about a reported 5-year, $175 million fully guaranteed contract. To put that into perspective, most first-round NFL draft picks have to pray they stay healthy long enough to see even a fraction of that kind of guaranteed cash. In the NFL, you're one bad hit away from losing it all. But in China, Shedeur isn't just being paid to play. He's being paid to be a global icon. The deal reportedly includes massive endorsement structures that could push his total earnings north of $200 million. It's a level of financial security that the traditional American path simply cannot offer a rookie.
So YouTube family, we got yet a situation again that has occurred. So if you guys don't know, let me drop the banner for you right quick. Coach Prime, aka Deion Sanders, Coach Deion Sanders, that is prime time. So they said Deion Sanders finally talked about Shedeur's $4.6 million contract with the Browns. And boy, did he tell y'all his feelings. He makes sense. He went off in only a way Deion Sanders can go off. Now,
no matter how talented they are. But the question remained, why basketball? And that's where the story gets even deeper. Most people only know Shedeur Sanders as the elite quarterback who carved up defenses at the college level. They see the arm talent and the poise under pressure. But what the casual fan doesn't realize is that Shedeur was an absolute menace on the hardwood.
That's when I respect my dad, because we grew up in a big house, nice, like 25,000 square feet. Yeah, like something very big. Football field, everything you could ask for.
He got his own money.
Arcade, everything, basketball court, everything.
Yeah.
But then he moved us across town. Still a nice house, but it wasn't like that. It was nothing like that. But he moved us across town to understand, you know, just a humbling experience overall. Just to understand, to get that dog mentality. We didn't go to private schools our whole life.
Back in high school, he wasn't just playing basketball. He was a legitimate Division I prospect. He had the vision of a point guard and the scoring instinct of a veteran. He grew up in a household where competition was the only language spoken, often being moved from a 25,000 square foot mansion to more humble surroundings, just so he could develop that dog mentality his father demanded. He's been training for this kind of versatility his entire life, and while the world was looking at his jersey, he was busy perfecting his jump shot in the shadows. There's a reason the Sanders family is choosing to pivot now, and it's a reason that a lot of people in the sports establishment don't want to talk about. The NFL is a machine that's designed to control young talent.
They said Deion tagged the post with a simple caption, Shedeur, proud father, I love my kids and I push my kids to be greater, to be better, to correct my wrongs and magnify my rights. Don't negate that part, y'all. He made sure to say to magnify my rights. My kids are built for whatever comes their way. We're prepared for whatever because I got them no matter what. Thank you, Jesus. Bro, that is beautiful, bro.
Between the rookie wage scales, the franchise tags, and the internal politics, players often don't get to realize their true market value until they're years into their careers. Deion Sanders knows this game better than anyone. He's seen how the league treats young stars, and he's seen how quickly the narrative can turn against a player who tries to take control of his own destiny. By looking toward China, the Sanders family is effectively bypassing the gatekeepers. They aren't asking for a seat at the table. They're building their own table in a market that has over 1 billion potential customers. But of course, this kind of boldness doesn't come without a massive wave of backlash. Whenever a black athlete and his father decide to take control of the narrative, the pundits start singing a very specific tune.
But okay, let's pretend that's the case. We don't have fathers. But when we do have fathers, we still get scrutinized in front of the world. Oh, Deion is hands-on too much. But if it's Archie Manning, it's love. It's an American story that needs to be told. I just did a story about Todd Dodge and Riley Dodge, father and son, who was an American story from South Lake Carroll, Texas, how he got a job to be the head coach of North Texas University. He got no coaching experience besides.
They call Deion overbearing or too involved. They claim he's hurting his son's prospects. But notice how quiet those same critics are when it comes to the Manning family. When Archie Manning pulls strings for Eli or Peyton, it's called legacy building and smart business. When a black father does it, it's labeled as a distraction. The double standard is glaring. And it's something Deion has addressed with his usual primetime flair. He isn't interested in playing by the old rules, because the old rules weren't designed for him to win. He's magnifying his rights and correcting the wrongs of the past, ensuring his son doesn't have to bow down to a system that doesn't fully value him. And what happened next would shock even his most vocal haters. The move to China isn't just about the $175 million. It's about the 1.4 billion people who live there. In the United States, the sports market is saturated. In China, the appetite for American star power is insatiable. Shedeur Sanders isn't just entering a league. He's entering a stratosphere of fame that most NFL players can only dream of. He'll have his own signature shoes, his own media platforms, and a level of influence that transcends sports entirely. He's positioning himself as a global brand, much like his father did in the 90s, when he was playing 2 professional sports at the same time.
Now let's dive into this bitch-made ass cat who's dedicated show after show after show about me, Mr. I Smoke Hip Hop. Does it look like I'm bothered? Does it look like
YouTube family, nonetheless, man, I'm still gonna be here doing my thing, man, and I'm here to say, man, I'm primetime blessed one, the best one. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to Deion Sanders for supporting his kids. Like,
the strategy here is 4D chess. If Shedeur dominates in China, he becomes the most marketable athlete on the planet. And if he ever decides to come back to the US, he'll have more leverage than any player in the history of the game. Predictably, the traditionalists are already flooding the comment sections with claims that Shedeur is running from competition. They say he couldn't handle the pressure of the NFL, or that he's taking the easy way out. But let's be real for a second. Is turning down a guaranteed $175 million running? Is moving to a foreign country to become the face of a league easy? It takes more courage to break the mold than it does to follow the crowd. These critics aren't upset because Shedeur is failing. They're upset because he's winning on his own terms. They're terrified of a world where athletes realize they don't need the traditional leagues to become icons. This move isn't about fear, it's about power. As the sports world continues to spiral, one thing is becoming crystal clear. The Sanders family has changed the game forever. Whether you love them or hate them, you have to respect the hustle. They've managed to create a situation where the NFL is now the one looking in from the outside. The league that once thought it held all the cards is now watching one of its biggest potential stars walk away for a better deal. This is the new era of athlete empowerment, where the talent understands their value and refuses to settle for anything less. Shedeur Sanders is the pioneer, and Coach Prime is the architect of a movement that is only just beginning. So, as we watch this historic transition unfold, we have to ask ourselves, are we witnessing a mistake, or are we witnessing the future of sports? Is the $175 million just a paycheck, or is it the price of freedom? One thing is for sure, the sports world will never be the same again. But what do you think? Is Shedeur making a genius business move? Or is he throwing away a legendary NFL career for a bag of cash? Would you move across the world for $175 million? Or is the dream of the NFL worth more than the money? The conversation is just getting started, and you definitely want to stay tuned, because this story is far from over.